Hey guys, it's been 254 days since I last posted a video on this channel. I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner what my thought process was that kind of led me to that. Um, I'll be brief and then we'll jump into what I actually want this video to be about. But I've been doing YouTube full time for over a decade now. And because of that, I have built up routines and things like that in relationship to YouTube that are great on the work side of things, um, but added weird pressures and weird pressures to this channel that I made. I found myself thinking about this becoming a job and me being able to do this full time a lot, and it kind of created weird motives, if you will, for creating content. I found myself consuming a lot of other Christian content and comparing that to mine and watching things and wanting to cover similar topics. And um, I really do believe 100% that the Lord told me to make this channel. But because of my experience with YouTube, I took that and added a outline to it that I don't believe was the outline that he desired. Um, and so I took the outline of everything that I've done for other channels and overlapped it onto what I felt this channel needed to be. And I kind of removed the spirit from that. I was like, okay, you want me to make this channel? Cool. That means you want me to do it like I do everything else. And I don't think that that's the case. And so after doing 30 or so videos on this, I felt weird pressures. I felt weird insecurities. I felt like I don't know. I created expectations that were not necessary, and it kind of led me to I don't know. Feel like I was doing the wrong thing, because you can do godly things for the wrong reasons. We see that in the Bible a lot, where he talks about people who fast and make it look like they're fasting, so they're doing it for attention, or they tithe so that everybody can see them tithe. And I don't think that I was doing these videos so that you would think that I was holy. I think that my intentions in this were good and spirit led. But I do think that I was putting, why did I just say putting like that? I do think that I was putting expectations on the future that I shouldn't have been. And so I stepped back, and in light of things that happened yesterday with Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and honestly, even before that, I've just kind of felt that I needed to figure out what this channel was and wanting to make videos on it and remove any sort of standards that I've had in regards to YouTube from other channels. I've made 3 different channels that have reached over 100,000 subscribers. I have another one that reached over 50,000 subscribers. Like I have formulas and things that I do, but I need to trust that if this channel is from the Lord, that he'll get the videos in front of people that he wants to see it. And me messing up on a thumbnail design or an idea for a video isn't going to stop the Lord from moving. And so I'm sorry for my mindset getting to that point. If I make a video and one person sees it and it encourages them or draws them closer to the Lord, then that's a success. And that's my hope. But after what happened yesterday with Charlie Kirk, I've kind of been feeling a sense of urgency lately. I've been listening to Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell from the church called 2819, and he's preaching through Matthew, and he today in the sermon that I listened to, he did one on the 10 virgins and the wedding, the parable of that. And I just found myself like weeping in the backyard as I was doing yard work. I don't know, like just overcome with a sense of urgency for people to know Jesus. And everything happened with Charlie Kirk, and like that urgency got got a lot bigger. And so I just felt like I should make a video talking to you guys. So my hope is that like I just read the Bible in the mornings, which I do. And if the Spirit leads me in anything, then I come up here and I record a video and I just post it. Like I don't have to edit it like crazy. I don't have to make thumbnails. I don't have to worry about the tags and the like. I need to remove all of my experience with YouTube and just make this about my relationship with the Lord and sharing that with you. That's my hope. My hope for this is not anything more than that this can be a place that the things that Jesus and the Spirit revealed to me through the Word can be a place where I can share that with you, and hopefully it can point you towards Him. I don't want to cover trending topics. I don't want to talk about things that other people are talking about. I just want to talk about this and what the Lord reveals to me in it through my time with Him. And so I've been reading through the Bible. I'm not following a plan or anything. I'm just reading through the Bible. And I'm in 2 Samuel. And the first verse of chapter 9 says, "And David said, 'Is there still anyone left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?'" Is there still anyone left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? If you know about David and Saul, you know that Saul was chosen and then David was chosen. And Saul became jealous of David and tried to kill him on like multiple times. I think it's easy for us as we read scripture to remove ourselves from the words, and we just look at it and we just read the text, but we don't put ourselves in those shoes. And so when it talks about Saul chasing David and everything, a lot of times it's easy to not put yourself in that situation to understand what's going on. Saul was the king. Imagine if the president of your country was chasing you down and trying to kill you. How would you feel about that person? How would you feel about what they're doing? Because David never hurt Saul. He never tried to. In fact, the one thing that he did do when he cut a piece of his hem in the cave as Saul was pursuing him was he repented of cutting his cloak. And I think it's easy for us to forget the weight that David must have felt being pursued. And yet now, after Saul is gone, after his best friend Jonathan is gone, Saul's son, he says, "Is there still anyone left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" So he wants to bless the house of the man that pursued him and tried to kill him multiple times for the sake of his relationship with his son. And I think that we as Christians need to desire to bless people, direct them towards God. We need to desire to bless them for the sake of the sacrifice of his son. God sent Jesus to die for everyone. And salvation is there for all who believe that Jesus did that, that he is the only way to the Father, is through the Son. If David, a man, can desire to bless the house of someone who pursued him with an intent to kill, how much more should we desire to bless people for the sake of Jesus, God's Son, how much more should we desire to bless people who just disagree with us? Like the person that assassinated Charlie Kirk was definitely oppressed spiritually in some way, but probably got to that point because he just disagreed with him. Wasn't like Charlie was pursuing that guy and trying to take him out like Saul was for David. And I think it's so easy in this country to tie politics and religion together for the intent of division or separation. One of the I didn't follow Charlie very closely, but I've seen a lot of stuff on him, and I believe that he believed in Jesus and did a lot of what he did through that lens. I talked to my wife about it, and she said that a couple days before he tweeted that the most important thing is for people to believe in Jesus. And I've seen many times where he's talked about his faith, and I'm not the judge of that, but he seemed like he had a relationship with the Lord, and his intent was to talk to people who were divisive, who disagreed with him. And again, whether you agree with him politically or not, that shouldn't have happened. As believers, we're called to love and trust that revenge is the Lord's. We're called to point others towards Christ and trust that revenge is the Lord's. It's not my job to seek revenge against somebody who is doing something that is against the kingdom. It's my job to try and show them Jesus so that they can have an opportunity to come into the kingdom and know him. I don't really have an outline or plan for this. I just felt like I wanted to make this video. And after reading this morning, I felt like I wanted to talk about this. I want to encourage you to try and bless others for Jesus' sake, just like Jonathan wanted to bless the house of Saul for Jonathan's sake. There needs to be a sense of urgency for people to know the love of Jesus. And I hope that my videos can encourage you guys or encourage people who might stumble upon these who don't know Jesus to read the scriptures, to find somebody who knows the Lord, who has a relationship with the Lord, to find a church, to get plugged in, and to genuinely make your life about this. At our church, we're going through a series in Matthew where Jesus says, seek first the kingdom of heaven. Seek first. The first thing that you need to do in your life is seek the kingdom of heaven. And the only way to heaven is through the Son, Jesus. And so we need to be seeking daily in everything to be more like him. I'm excited to see what the Spirit puts on my heart as I continue to read, to share with you guys. And I hope that this channel can be a blessing. Thank you for your patience as I disappeared for almost a year. I guess 2/3 of a year, whatever. I'm going to post on here sporadically. I'm not going to try and do trending topics. I'm not going to try and make it be something that it's not. I'm just going to talk to you guys about what the Lord is revealing to me in his word. Thank you for hanging out and watching. See you in the next one.